Hey Simmers! Welcome back to a brand new video. If you're new, welcome. Today we're going to be playing with my cozy household that I have. This is Melody, and this is her baby, Amira, and her soon-to-be husband, Damon. We do have a wedding to plan. And this is their dog, Bubblegum. I made this household because I didn't want all of my save files and all the sims I played with to be messy and chaotic. So I just wanted something cozy that I could also feel like I can enjoy the gameplay. And yeah, so I'll give you guys a little bit of their backstory. Melody here is a business owner. Or she was. She sold her business, but she used to own a kind of like bar slash cafe slash like a... Honestly, we changed her business so many times. I don't remember because I was playing with the businesses and hobbies thing, and it was like some things weren't working well, so I had to keep changing her business and then changing stuff. So it initially started as like a crystal slash tea shop, and I was super excited about that, but it wasn't working out correctly. Like people weren't coming in and making crystals, even though that was like an activity, and people also were not coming in to like drink the tea, which was a little bit annoying because the only way you can have tea in this game is like if you have like those like tea trays out, which I had those out and people were drinking them. But I wish we had like a counter similar to the coffee shop where I'm just gonna let her walk around, where you know you could get the tea from like similar to the coffee. She loves to leave a mirror on the ground. But yeah, so that's where her lore started. She started out in Nordhaven, sorry about that. She started out in Nordhaven, and I didn't really like how gloomy it was there. Like, it was always gloomy, even when it was summer, like no sun came out. So I moved them to San Sequoia, and they live here on this lot. I forgot what it was, but I built this house for them. This is their family home. And last I checked on them, they were both just like obsessed with being in this pool. So hopefully they do some actual stuff this playthrough. They're not just addicted to going in the pool. The top floor, there is an attic where essentially they have the office and where hobbies take place. And it's got their like holiday decorations in a box up in the attic, which is really cool. Like I've never really built a house like this one before where I've had an attic. I always keep it to like 2 stories. But yeah, you come upstairs and you've got Amira's room. I'll give you guys Amira's lore in a second. But this is the laundry room because your girl loves doing laundry chore in the game. I will say that in every video. This is Damon and Melody's room. Their bathroom. They've got some clutter here. I didn't want to overly clutter the bathroom or make it too big, just because I feel like for them, they're not, like, as you can see their income, they're not that rich. So I didn't want to go all out by making them such a huge house. Damon does not have a job. In fact, he was working at Amira's small business. And I've actually plopped these two down into this current save file I'm in. I initially started their save file on a completely different one than this one that I'm on right now, but I decided to just combine my save file that I started that was like more city living with this save file so that I'm not having to go back and forth between save files, and I can just go back and forth between worlds. And that has made it a little bit easier. These builds are on my gallery. Oh my god, this photo. Actually, I don't know if they haven't had their wedding yet. Yeah, they're engaged, but this is like that one thing from Life and Death where you can change the photo and like set it, and I just decided to set them in their formal gear because eventually they are going to get married, so I just wanted them to have their photo, and then they have a mirror with them as well. So okay, here's a little bit of the lore for Madame Melody here. Pull up her relationships. So since she's in a new world, her relationships disappeared, but previously she was kind of like playing the field. She's very naive. She's not like careful or anything, in the sense of like she wasn't trying to just be with one person. She was just trying to play the field, see what she likes before making a big commitment, because that's very huge for her. And as you can see here, it says that she does not want a child right now, and that's like one of the really big things. I wonder if it will carry over here with her moodlet, but in the previous save file that I had her in, when she found out that she was pregnant, she was so upset. Like, she's in her early 20s. She's trying to figure out her life. She had just started her business, which kind of reminds me, the business is probably still there in the other save file. They still own that business, but because I plopped them down here, she doesn't have the small business. So at some point, I'm just gonna eventually have to bring that over to this world as well. But yeah, she just kind of like met Damon and they hit it off really well, but they weren't being really careful when they would woohoo. So, you know, she became pregnant, and her whole pregnancy, I'm telling you, she was so upset. She was so angry. She did not want to have this kid, but she also did not want to get rid of it because she feels like that's the worst thing that you could do. Because by the time she found out, and I don't know if it was because of the RPO mod or because of the glitch that was happening with the pregnancies, but she legit wasn't showing. And then she found out about the baby during her second trimester, and by that time she only had like 1 week before she could end the pregnancy. And so when she found out, she was just like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. And she was super upset. She went and told Damon, and Damon just tried to be very like supportive, like, don't worry, we've got this, you know, like he was telling her, I love you and I'm with you, and the reason that we're even getting married is because I know that, you know, I want to have a family with you. And he is neutral about having kids. Like, he's just like, okay, if we have them, we have them. If we don't, we don't. But like, they had the kid, and so I don't know why it's saying she's at daycare, but that's just another issue. You know, you guys know what's going on, so I don't need to rehash that here. But yeah, Amira is still very well taken care of and very well loved. So it's not like she's being neglected in any way, but whenever Melody would come and take care of her, she would just be very upset after any interaction with her. And Bubblegum here is Melody's dog that she's brought into this family. So Damon and Melody didn't adopt Bubblegum or anything. And there he is at the pool. He just loves it here. My only thing is that on my other save file, I had added a lot of stuff to the calendar, especially like their wedding and everything like that. And yeah, I might hold off on it because I do need them to make some new like relationships in this save file in order to like have groomsmen and bridesmaids and their maid of honor and their officiant and everything. And then I also need to plop back down like the wedding venue that I had found. So I'm actually just gonna pause this and put these things down so that their life is a little bit more complete in this save file. So I've plopped down their small business. It was a Plant Shop and Boba Cafe that we ended up going with here. Let me show you guys the inside. So basically people just come and hang out. I do have these up. I don't think that they can buy any of these because I believe I need to put them on like retail tables in order for people to kind of look around and want to buy them. But you know, it doesn't need to be that realistic on like buying stuff. But they come out here into this little courtyard that I've made and they can hang out. And actually, I remember I removed this because in the other save file, Miko got too hot standing next to it and then died of heat exhaustion. So I'm just editing a little bit. This was on a 20 by 20 lot, so it was just this. And so I'm adding like some foliage around just to kind of match this area right here because I plopped it down in San Sequoia so their business can be in the same city that they live. And yeah, so the courtyard, they come and they have little seatings and they can get boba outside. So that's kind of what I was talking about, is like I wish at least like the boba table or this boba bar sold tea as well. Like you could buy regular tea from it. I'm sure there's some type of mod. I just haven't looked into it, but if I find it, obviously I will give you guys a video review, or I'll paste it on to like a post on Patreon. But yeah, this is the plant shop. It's called Crystals still. Like I love this K. I got this. This is CC from Baby Gal 123. And it's more like for like a salon and stuff, but y'all don't know that. Just pretend you don't know that. But just enjoy this little segment of, I guess, like ASMR building while I finish up this stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic so you guys can enjoy that segment. Okay, so hi, we're back. Another thing that I noticed with the small businesses is that you have to have a bathroom on your lot because if not, like, it doesn't matter if there is some like porta potties or whatever at a park nearby, people will not go. Like, they will piss right inside your business. So I made this little bathroom here. It's cute. I was actually really proud of this because I was like, it's like this like really cute flowery outhouse. And everything just flows super well. So yeah, I love this. I'm gonna save it and then I'll put this on the gallery as well with the additives. It is modded, of course. But you know, it's only a few things. I really don't remember using too many things for custom content. Like I'll show you guys right now. Overwrite that. So I know this little mural right here is from an like it makes your like Tartosa, Italy, but it has this like custom content that comes with it. And your Sims can actually, it's interactive. You can click it and go take photos with it or view it or take photos of other people in front of it and your Sim will actually pose. I might just honestly leave this as... Sorry, I know I uploaded to the gallery before I did anything with this, but you know, y'all can move it anything you want around as you please. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave this like that. And lovely. And I love the view. I love that people just would naturally kind of walk around in these areas. So I do like this location. I don't remember where I have it plopped down in my other save file. It's probably still in Nordhaven if I'm being honest. So I think this is a much better area to have it in. Okay, so now I've come to Henford on Badgley and we're gonna set down the wedding venue that we had in the other save file. Venue. And I wanted to basically use as much of the worlds in my save file as possible. I know some people like to just limit themselves to only one world for their save file to make it more realistic. But if I'm playing with multiple households, I don't think that it's realistic to have all of my households living, eating, breathing, and just being in one world. But this lot is absolutely beautiful. I will leave down in the description who this lot is from. There is no custom content, but it's just so beautiful for weddings, and it's definitely Melody and Damon's vibe. The amount of detail that went into this is amazing. I love that there is even gifts here to represent, you know, you're at a wedding and people are bringing gifts. The bar is beautiful. The dance floor is beautiful. Like, it's very much giving whimsical, and I just love that. I've always found like these barn style weddings to look so amazing and dreamy, and the location I feel like is the best because it's right by this waterfall and it's away from the houses and all that, so it's just very much on its own. So if you want to plop yours down here as well, that would be good. But yeah, now that we have these plopped down, I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to our Sims that we're playing with and kind of see if hopefully the emotions kind of carried over into the save file. And they should, because in their traits it just says like neutral about having kids and also would not want to have kids. So obviously there's that. And then I do also need to register their small business again, so we're gonna go ahead and do that as well. But before I get too much into the technical stuff, why is this here? Okay, we're gonna give you guys some lore about Amira. So I have the royalty mod and I haven't played with it yet, but basically Damon and Melody are decorating Amira's room with like princess stuff, And once she gets older, we are going to give her the aspiration for like wanting to become royalty. And she's not just going to become royalty out of nowhere. Like she's not going to grow up and find out that her great 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 grandmother was royalty or anything, because they're just regular schmegular people. Nothing brand new about them, you know. But Amira will essentially grow up like having this dream and this hope to become a princess one day. And I know it's like really corny and cheesy, but it's like something that all of us girlies, well, maybe not all of us girlies, but I feel like at some point we've all like dreamed about like, oh, I want to grow up and be a princess actually. You know, like when we're younger and we're at that young age, that's when people are like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, a princess. That's going to be Amira's answer every single time. And I think it's just like really important to start setting the scene with what she's surrounded with in terms of decorations. And then obviously like movies she'll watch and kind of like pretend imaginary friends that she'll have. And also at school, pretend playing like she lives in a castle or whatever in one of like the playground structures, which will essentially make it so that she'll just like have that solidified in her mind, like that's what I want to be when I grow up. And at some point, you know, obviously like I'm gonna have her be autonomous. I'm not gonna try and control everything, but at some point she is probably gonna lose sight of that dream as she grows up, because I feel like we all lose sight of that dream eventually, you know. I wonder if I can debug her. Oh, goodness. Oh no, don't destroy. Imagine I destroy her. I don't know. I feel like I'm seeing it, but I'm not seeing it. Like I'm not paying attention enough to see it. It's fine. She loves to be held. Like, aww. She's returned from daycare. Okay, well. I don't remember her being at daycare at all, but that's fine. Her fun is very low. But yeah, she'll eventually lose sight of that dream because, you know, life happens and life becomes life. But I'm thinking of when I make the actual like royal family, I'll make them in one of the worlds. I don't know which world that I would want to make them in. Let's just take a look at that real quick. Okay, so none of these worlds really is screaming like royalty to me. Genuinely speaking, we could, I mean, like there's this, we could do it here. Yeah, so I would probably put the castle down here, and trust me when I say I'm plopping that hoe down from the gallery because I do not know how to build a castle. Maybe I can build the outside, but like interior furniture, no thank you. Like I'm not spending 5 years building that because that's how long it would take. But we'll put them right there, and then I'll have Amira and whatever friends she has at that time go on some type of like university trip to kind of like get history and stuff. And then when she's like wandering around in the garden out here, like have her run into the prince. Like very cliche, very like Netflix created a rom-com type beat, but that's fine because it's my save file and I want something cheesy to happen as opposed to something chaotic happening. So now let me get into Damon's lore. So Damon here, when I first made him, he was supposed to be like this bad boy, right? Let me show you. Like his traits, one of them is that he's a heartbreaker. He's a romantic. That's as far as it got. And at first, it was like really messy, the lore for him, but I feel like once he met Melody, he just kind of like set aside this trait. Like he hasn't had that trait come up where he's a heartbreaker But obviously he settled down pretty quickly. And oh my god, bubblegum. Lecture about drinking from the toilet, not about barking. Come on now. Yeah, toss this. Fruitcake. I didn't show you guys the kitchen. I'm just gonna turn all the lights on so y'all can see. So this is their little kitchen. I really love like houses that have these little like eating nooks, so I added that to this. I love the sounds of the birds here. My only thing is like, I think there's a mod where you can limit plant sims showing up, because ever since I've gotten this pack, there's been so many plant sims everywhere, and I'm just like, it's just so unrealistic for my save file, because I'm not playing with a cult. And I don't want to see these people here. I don't want to see them in my save file. So I'll definitely download the mod so we can get rid of them. But as far as I know, base game, like in-game settings, you can only make it so that they only show up in a screen. I think, where is it? Environment, maybe? No, gameplay? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's in the pack settings. Okay, lovely. So under my pack settings, there's not even like an area for in a screen. So love that for me. But luckily before that disappeared, I was able to turn off the balance and luck stuff. And personally, with ailments, ever since they turned it down, my sims don't really get ailments, and if they do, I do have the UI cheats mod, so I just like right click it to get rid of it because I'm not dealing with that. But they are coming out with a feature to completely turn off ailments, or sorry, the spread of ailments, not completely turn off ailments, but I think that they should do completely turning it off. So this is kind of like more of a long play type video, so I'm not gonna really just try to make things happen. Like, they can do whatever they want, their autonomy is on, but I think that they're just kind of bugged right now per usual, so I'm just going to reset them. Hopefully. Okay, that reset him back into the pool. Lovely. But yeah, she's doing her stuff now. Alright, so one thing I need to do in this save file is set up the calendar. So I'm gonna do that, and maybe this will give you guys some ideas as well on like just stuff to add to your calendar. I'm just gonna cancel this holiday. And yes, I am using a mod that I talked about in my most recent like 10 plus overrides and tuning mods video. So I'll link that down below, but it basically gets rid of every single like festival event off your calendar. And it's a blessing and it's also a curse, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I really wish like the humor and hijinks thing was happening. But there is another mod by Cutto that I also mentioned in the last video about you can actually just like tune where you get certain like event notifications. So if I'm in San Sequoia, I'm not gonna get notifications for festivals happening in San Myshuno, so I might actually switch to that one. But for now, let's just start with our calendar. We are in the last week of spring, so this is not really going to be realistic for me to add spring break or anything, but if I come all the way down here, I see that spring is upon us again at the end of the year. And usually the first week of spring is whatever, but the second week I feel like is usually when spring break happens. So what I'm gonna do is from Monday to Friday, I'm gonna make it spring break, and I just do that by adding a holiday. Now this part of like editing the calendar does get really repetitive after a while, So I might cut out some parts, like for adding spring break, summer break, winter break, and like Thanksgiving break. I'm just gonna show you the first one that I do and then cut out any like extra parts of it because I'm just gonna be repeating the holiday through the whole week. And no one wants to sit through that unless you do, you know. But for spring break, I do have some type of mod that adds extra icons. I think having a filled out calendar essentially makes the game more fun to play because you're adding your own things that you want to see happening in the game as opposed to the preset festivals and events that EA offers with each pack. And those are cool, but I feel like it gets repetitive every week doing the same festivals and just kind of doing the same thing. Whereas my thing with adding like the spring break and the winter break and stuff, it allows you to just kind of venture out into the different worlds if you own a lot of the packs. And it makes it so that your sim is experiencing more of the world, right? Like, I feel like the main thing with playing any type of simulation game is simulating being a world traveler, simulating like events that aren't as normal. Well, being a world traveler is somewhat normal for people in a real world, but also we all have really busy lives, so it's not that normal, I guess, to be able to just like go and do stuff like this. But it just makes it fun for me to have different activities and events on the calendar because it also makes me want to play the game longer because I'm like, oh, like this is coming up. I feel like there was some type of flower thing somewhere here and I passed it. Okay, it took me forever to find these flowers. So spring break, I'm gonna add that. Decoration theme, no, like there is no decoration and you're gonna have the day off from work and school. And then down here, it's gonna have like what you're gonna do. So for my families, I always, for any type of school or work break, I like to send them on a vacation. So if you have a vacation world, you can do like a vacation rental with them. So I'm just gonna quickly add the activities that they'll do. So I do go on vacation or travel, take photos, tell stories, because I feel like when you go on vacation, like with your family and just interactions that you have, there's always like telling stories, like talking about things. Maybe if you guys split up and go do your own things, you can come back and talk about those things. And that's it. I like to keep it to a minimum because, again, if they're on vacation, they're going to be wanting to go and like do their own things. So now that I've saved this, I'm going to do it all the way through Friday. And then once you get the hang of it, it just kind of gets faster. And usually it does save like where you are in the icons. Stories, take photos, and then travel is a little bit up here. Now our spring break does intervene with Love Day, so that's fine. We can just add another holiday on top. Oh, or you actually can delete it. Okay, so there you have it. I've added spring break, and then I am just actually gonna add it to like a Wednesday, so this coming Wednesday. And for this one, I do also have a mod that adds more activities. Truthfully, I will leave down a link below of like this really amazing like master post someone did with like all traits and stuff that you can do. And I believe she also has like a video plus just like a blog of that video of all the things that she adds into her game, which gives you like kind of a good idea of what to do. So Love Day, we're gonna do give flowers, go on a date, and then just be like in a romantic spirit. And then we're gonna actually have the romance festival on this day as well, because it just makes more sense to have the romance festival the day of Valentine's Day as opposed to like having it every week randomly, you know? Now, for summer break, fall break, and winter break, I'm not gonna show me adding that because it's gonna take a little bit, but I'll be back to show you guys like other like miscellaneous stuff that I add. So yeah, you guys will see me probably immediately, but for me, I will be back in like 30 minutes. Okay, so for summer break, I want to show you guys what I did. So they're going to be obviously traveling to Sulani for the summer break because that's one of the beach places. And this one, I don't have them doing like the same thing every day. I did add some like festivals in. So the first day they are obviously all of them, they're going to be going on vacation or traveling. The first day they're going to be sailing, doing like sand sculptures and just having fun in the sand. The next day they're going to have the town barbecue, taking photos and like having some like fun in the water. The third day they're gonna go swimming. They're going to grab a drink of kava, and then they're gonna have the island celebration that night. Fourth day, swimming, collect seashells, and then the beach bonfire is gonna be that day. And then the fifth and last day, they're just gonna be taking photos and then doing whatever they want. And then at 6 is the town potluck. And so like all of those are happening in Sulani. So I think like the great thing about scheduling your own festivals helps you to kind of dictate like, okay, if my Sims are going to be going on vacation to Sulani, I can put all of those festivals in this week for their summer break instead of it being scattered around in like random, just like different slots. So yeah, that's what I did for my summer. And don't worry, like you can do like the bare bones, bare minimum. For spring break, I don't really know where to send them yet. So I just basically put the same thing for all of them. And I just want it to be a little bit more autonomous for them. But once I figure out where I'm gonna have them, you can always go back in and edit the holiday and just like add more stuff and it saves it. So now I'm gonna do I'm gonna do our fall break. Okay, so I'm gonna go do the Thanksgiving break and then the winter break, and then I'll come back and I'll show you guys like different ideas. Okay, so that took me about like 45 minutes because just it did. So we've got Valentine's Day, and we're gonna have like giving flowers, going on a date, romantic spirit, and the romance festival will be on Valentine's Day. And then the first week of summer, I had it be the 4th day, Independence Day, which is 4th of July in America. And we're just gonna have like activities such as like chatting with people, eating ice cream, and then fireworks. And then we've got summer break, which I already discussed with you guys like different events. They're going to be going to Sulani for vacation here. Then we have fall break. I didn't make it too long, but the plan is for them to go to the Salvadorian world. I honestly don't remember what it's called. But the first day, it's just like fall fun, being by like the fire, going hiking. Second day, they're gonna play in like leaf piles and take photos, just kind of like rest and decompress from the hiking the day before. And then the next day, they're just gonna do like some type of like bonfire, fall fun, taking photos again, and just kind of getting ready to transition back to like a normal day. And then for this day, I'm going to have them like kind of like decorate and get ready for Halloween. And then Halloween on Friday, it's going to be a party. There will be drinking, pumpkin carving, inviting guests over for the party, obviously, trick-or-treating, and then there's going to be like costume contests that I want to do. And then the next week is Thanksgiving. So we have just baking, a grand meal, thankful spirit, taking photos and drinking. You can only put like 5 things, but obviously we're going to invite people over, close friends and stuff. And then the next day on Friday, it's going to be Black Friday. We're just going to drink some coffee and go shopping. And then for winter break, they're going to be going to Mount Komorebi. And so first day, they'll be ice skating, making snow angels. Second day, sledding, snowboarding. And then I put the Festival of Light on this day. And then the next day, they're just gonna go to like the hot springs to kind of decompress and then have hot pot and get ready to come back. Last week of winter, we've got Christmas Eve. So this will be the day that like they'll decorate, have a grand meal, invite guests over and like bake cookies. And then the next day when it's Christmas Day, they'll have Father Winter is gonna come visit. They're gonna have like a festive spirit festival, festive lighting, and then we're gonna have the festival of snow on this day. And then yet again, just kind of have like a little transition day where they're decorating and getting ready for the New Year party. So party spirit, make resolutions, countdown to midnight, invite guests over, and they're gonna be drinking. I did change the icon on this to black and white because it's gonna be like a black and white themed like dress up party. So yeah, that's the plan for that. And then spring break. So thus far, this is what I have on my calendar. I am gonna add just a few more things. On my other save file, I had it where it was like every Sunday was like deep clean, like Sunday reset. But seeing like there's so many days and it's like every Sunday to do that, it was getting to be kind of annoying. So on this save file, I'm just gonna have it be every other Sunday that they're gonna have the Sunday resets. And for that, that's going to be kind of it on what I'm going to be adding in today. I'm probably going to add in some more stuff as time goes on, but a lot of time has already been consumed just making these and like finding the icons for it. So I don't want to spend a majority of my time playing in the calendar on the game, but it essentially is a little bit time consuming, but you can just think of it like at least I'm getting it out of the way so then I can set up any like niche events around this stuff. And I already have my calendar set in place, and my gameplay and my storytelling and my save file in general will just be more organized, and I'll know that at least if I don't feel like coming up with something to do today for my Sims, there's stuff on the calendar that will kind of boost some creative morale in your brain to be like, oh, well, like that's coming up, so maybe I can have them do this the day before, or like, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just gonna add the Sunday resets and I'll meet back with you guys in a little bit. Okay, so we've just added the Sunday resets every other Sunday. And for this, it's the same thing every 2 weeks. Baking, cleaning, relaxing soak, and doing the laundry. And, you know, no specific order on how you do that. That's just how I plopped it down. But yeah, so far this is just what we have. And I think that this is good for now. And as a backbone, this is good because now I can kind of plan around like, okay, spring breaks this week. I can put like, you know, 420 right here. But you can just get really creative with your calendar after you've added like the holidays that you want. And then you can start doing events and stuff. So for my current household, my main thing is obviously they had their wedding coming up, but now it's not on the save file. But I remember that their wedding was in spring and it was the last week of spring. So it kind of works out. So I'm going to put their wedding right here on this. Actually, I'm going to have it on this Saturday. Obviously, they're not going to have these people, but they have until Saturday to add people. I'm gonna invite the Sims that I've edited townie wise and then also invite Sims that I've made so that the photos can come out nice. We're not gonna invite too many people because if you remember, the venue is not huge and I just want to keep it to like close friends and family members. And when you plan a wedding event, you can always go back into the event, any event really. You can always go back in and add stuff like the wedding cake, the outfits that they'll be wearing, guests. You don't need everything to be perfect before you plan the event, you know? It's just I think the most realistic way to do it is by planning, like putting it on the calendar, saving the date first, and then getting everything in order, you know? But they just have a very short amount of time to do that now because in the other save file, they obviously had all this time. But at least in this save file, I've already started like doing a makeover on some townies, so I don't have to worry too much about like, oh, like I'm gonna have to do makeovers for townies that are invited because already some of them look good. And where is Sylvia? Okay, there she is. I'm like, I feel like I passed Sylvia. I really like her. I need to give her a makeover, but in this other save file I had her and I like gave her a makeover. I love her personality. Okay, I think thus far, yeah, those are kind of like the only people I've done anything with. But we'll exchange vows, cut cake, first dance, walk down the aisle, and then everyone will just like dine together, and that's perfect. They do. I'm gonna have the dress code be boho just because of the barnyard wedding. And then color, people can come in whatever color as long as it's not white. And we can pick our venue here. It's gonna start at 2 p.m. Henford on Badgley. So I might have to go and adjust some things, but for now I'm just gonna put it as like that, but again we can come back and edit that. And then for the day before we're gonna have just like a rehearsal dinner, and then I'll come back and edit it. And for their rehearsal dinner, let's see, I have stuff down on new crusts, but I kind of want to build a venue that will accommodate more people, because when you go to a restaurant, it's kind of like everyone would be kind of scattered around because some tables don't have enough seats and there's not enough booths or something, like not enough people can sit. And I'm thinking like for the rehearsal dinner, it's just gonna be mainly like their wedding party, which I'm gonna have to gather now and make sure we have a wedding party for this event. Yeah, so I think for right now, like video wise, I am going to end it here because a lot has happened and I just need like, why is he naked? A lot has happened and I feel like I just need like a second to breathe before we start planning more stuff out. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. Comment down below anything that you guys saw that you maybe want a link for or anything. Again, down in the description, I'm gonna put like this like master blog post that someone made for everything that has to do with making your own custom calendar. And then I will link down below to the mods video that I did discussing the mods, and also have it linked on like removing the festivals so you can just plan your own stuff out. But yeah, that is, let me get a nice shot here. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of our video today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.